Well, retail investors also flocked to Nvidia this year. It saw nearly $30 billion in inflows over the course of 2024. That is according to Vanda Research. Now, rounding out the top three were SPY, that's pegged to the S&P 500, and Tesla. And this just comes back to how Nvidia has made it into the dinner table conversation, the wealth management conversation, the basketball court conversation. Wherever you are, you've probably heard somebody mention the ticker symbol NVDA and when they got in, perhaps, as well.
Yeah, you're right. This Nvidia has become a mainstream company. After a year, many people, I would say, still didn't really know what the company does. I would argue a lot of investors still don't know what Nvidia does. It's a very complicated company, moving at a speed not many of its competitors are moving at. Certainly, that includes the folks over at Intel. What also stood out to me with this Vanda data, really two things, Brad. Within the top 20, in terms of the retail investors, what they own, JP Morgan and AT&T. Now, we've highlighted AT&T here throughout the year, had a lot of conversations with CEO John Stankey. One of the hottest performers this year has been AT&T as it's turned itself around. JP Morgan, of course, continuing to do well. And this fun fact, too, I think really speaks to, this other fun fact, really speaks to the retail investing community still very, very engaged in these markets. $265 billion of net new inflows into U.S. markets by the self-directed retail investor this year. That is down about $25 billion or $25 billion less than the past 3-year average. But nonetheless, that's a healthy number. Yeah. A healthy number of retail investors engaged in this market, trying to prove their financial situations and lives, and maybe not necessarily concerned about some of the valuations on these names. Whether they get concerned next year, to be determined.
But this also, it really does talk about a major shift that we've seen in the mind of some retail investors. We've gone from meme stock and the momentum trade to, okay, now we're looking at companies with fundamentals, we're looking at a longer term time horizon, and not just trying to hop in on the trade, but be true investors for a longer term period of time. And that's why you get into some of the fund manager surveys, which, where's the most overcrowded trade right now?
Mag 7.
Long Mag 7.
Yep.
So that really just gives you a little bit more of the mindset of how the retail investor has shifted in this near term and how that's kind of mirroring what we've seen from a lot of institutions over the course of 2020.
Shout out retail investors. Love you guys.
Love you. All right.